he doesn't like the idea that he's hobbled by this hip that interferes with his quail hunting, but he can still run his speedboat around Kennebunkport, Maine.
Why do I feel like that's a Tom Brokaw reports, special report, that you're going to jump with him?
I'd be happy to. If he invites me, I'll be there. Here now is a tribute, a video tribute to President Bush, 43. President Bush, 41.
His name was George H.W. Bush. Come November, John McCain won't be the first former naval aviator to be elected president. Commissioned an ensign, Bush was the youngest naval aviator of his time and one of the bravest. He flew 58 combat missions in the Pacific, earning the Distinguished Flying Cross. But September 2nd, 1944, is the day he'll never forget. On his mission to take out Japanese installations on a Pacific island, he encountered intense anti-aircraft fire. Flak hit his aircraft. The engine caught fire. The plane a fireball. But he completed his mission, then had to bail out. George H.W. Bush was rescued at sea, the only member of his crew to survive. After the war, this Connecticut Yankee and his new wife, Barbara, moved to the dusty plains of West Texas to start out on his own in the oil business. That dream flourished, but something was missing in that storied life. Fortunate for us, he had more missions to accomplish. A Texas congressman, American ambassador to the United Nations, chairman of the Republican National Committee, our country's first envoy to China, and director of the Central Intelligence Agency, vice president to President Reagan, and finally, the 41st president of the United States. His strength and resolve enabled him to successfully negotiate world changes brought about by the fall of the Berlin Wall and the collapse of the Soviet Union. He built one of the largest coalitions in history to rebut the aggression of Saddam Hussein in Operation Desert Storm. And in doing so, he erased old ghosts of Vietnam. Take a deep breath and thank George Herbert Walker Bush and his historic strengthening of the Clean Air Act. More doors are literally open to Americans with handicaps through his support of the revolutionary Americans with Disabilities Act. The first President Bush, another who put country first.
Standing ovation for the 41st President of the United States at the XL Center, and now he sits. Tom Brokaw invoked before the video tribute to the former president about him being at one point a Mitt Romney man, and Mitt Romney's role perhaps in this convention is still undecided. The Boston Globe reporting at this hour that it is still unclear if the former governor of Massachusetts, who was considered to be one of the favorites, not just one of the inside choices, but one of the favorites to be the vice presidential nominee of this party for 2008, whether or not he will actually speak. He was scheduled to do so tomorrow night, and right now it is apparently undecided whether or not he will be fitted in somewhere else in this crowded convention schedule reduced to basically 3 days of activity. When we return, Chris Matthews and Minnesota's Governor Tim Pawlenty, and we continue to await First Lady Laura Bush and President George W. Bush by satellite from the White House. You're watching MSNBC's coverage of the 2008 Republican National Convention.